That brings me to point number 3, Reformation. Right? Reformation is to redo something that's no longer working and to start again and to reorganize, to reset. Again, the World Economic Forum calls this the Great Reset, which is a little bit probably overambitious in many ways, but I prefer to call it the Great Transformation or the Great Reformation, which is kind of like going back to Italy in the Renaissance, and maybe Martin Luther, talks about reforming church and reforming society and resetting how we think of the world. The biggest issue we're having right now is that technology is capable of doing all these things, but we haven't actually done this because we are pursuing an old-fashioned approach to our society, the approach of extreme capitalism. Whatever makes money is fine. Whatever gets us there is fine as long as it produces money. We focus on GDP, which is a 70-year-old description where already JFK, or Bobby Kennedy actually, said back then GDP measures everything except that which is humanly worthwhile, which really matters to humans. And that is so true. We're measuring the wrong thing and we're doing the wrong thing. We need to switch to the GPI, the gross progress indicator, and everything that's related to it. We have to go beyond GDP as a definition. And that has been discussed by people like John Elkington for a long time, a brilliant scientist, speaker, and writer, who talks about people, planet, profit. I'm going to add one thing to this: people, planet, purpose, and prosperity. I think prosperity is better than profit, and purpose is crucial these days because millennials between, say, 22 and 35 are looking for purpose. They're looking not just for prosperity. They're not looking for economic progress only. They're looking for wider sense in life. And purpose now, in many ways, is the new product. And as I said earlier about green in many ways is the new digital, and purpose is the new product, and green and sustainable is becoming the new profitable. There are lots of indications how this is happening. For example, the global corporate tax has now basically been signed off, which means 15% of any corporation around the world has to be paid in taxes, not like it was until now, where tax avoidance was basically rampant and everywhere. And that's already one big step in the same direction. Or take the vaccine policy of saying, well, maybe we should question the issue of patents and copyrights so that we can get it out quicker. Maybe we should question the things that were sanctified until now. Big discussion about that, big paradigm changes. The stakeholder economy, as the Business Roundtable calls it, talks about why that is the key to a future, to go beyond this very simplified thinking of capitalism as we know it. And of course, we don't really have any other word for it, but maybe we should be looking for one. I call it sustainable capitalism, post-capitalism, green capitalism, human capitalism, whatever you want to call it. It moves beyond the idea of saying all that matters is growth and profit and jobs, because if we pursue that strategy, as Milton Friedman has advised us in the 70s, the only purpose is to make money. If we pursue that strategy, we're going to implode, and we have probably less than 20 or 30 years left on this trajectory. We have to change that, and we have to change the stock markets to also allow us to prioritize people, planet, purpose, and prosperity. There is, in fact, a first stock market in San Francisco called the Long-Term Stock Exchange that does pretty much exactly this and looks for long-term results. Long-term thinking, not short-term thinking, wider thinking, holistic, human-centric, earth-centric people, planet, purpose, prosperity. That is the great transformation. And from those three things that I've talked about, this is the toughest one. This is the hardest because it's easy to digitize. Everybody's doing it. It's not easy, but it's working. It's tough to really decarbonize, but changing society's viewpoint on what we want on a global level and to agree on it, that's a major project that will take all of the involved entities like the Millennium Project, the World Economic Forum, and of course the UN to pull together and create a new logic of what we want. Because here's the key question, as I said in the film, what kind of future do we want? We can have every future, but we have to make a decision. A good future is entirely possible. We just have to make the right decisions. Thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon.